Thank you. Well, we are at the confluence at this time of year, as we always are, of the end of Halloween, All Hallows Eve, Samhain, All Saints Day, and All Souls Day, all right here. That time of year when we feel closest to the other side, to those who have gone on before. And we are also reminded of what that means for us still here on the earth, carrying that legacy. And you know, many of our congregations are called All Souls, probably because William Ellery Channing wrote once, "I am a living member of the great family of all souls, and I cannot improve or suffer myself without diffusing good or evil around me through an ever-enlarging sphere. I belong to this family. I am bound to it by vital bonds." And that's a good thing to remember at this time of year. I am bound to it by vital bonds. We, the living, carry them with us. We are their voices, their hands, and their hearts. We take them with us, and with them choose the deeper path of living. Why is this so important among so many faith traditions? Samhain is a Celtic holiday, really. And in pagan and Wiccan traditions, it's celebrated now. But when we talk about pagan and Wiccan traditions, we're usually talking about European traditions. And I want you to understand that this time of year and this reverence of ancestors goes far beyond European traditions. In this book, Carnival of the Spirit, by Louisa Tisch, and I'm not sure how to pronounce her name because I have only read it. This is a book about Afrocentric traditions, really, pagan traditions and such. And she writes about honoring ancestors at this time of year, and links it to Samhain and talks about traditions of cleaning out cemeteries, making them beautiful and honoring the ancestors. And throughout the world, there are these traditions. Why do we do this? Why do we at this time of year honor and remember our dead? Well, Louisa Tisch makes a point in here in Carnival of the Spirit. She says a ghost is a discarded spirit. A discarded spirit. One that we've forgotten. And you know, on Halloween, on All Hallows Eve, which is the Christian holiday that was syncretic. Syncretism, religious syncretism, is when one religion was there and the next religion comes in and you mix them up and you take bits of both. So there was this pagan tradition of Samhain, and the Christians came in and said, well, there's a lot of good stuff, we'll use that. So communing with previous ancestors, with the ancestors who have gone before, and protecting our houses from ghosts and evil spirits. But what makes an evil spirit? What are the ghosts that stick with us? Well, if we don't face up to the past, there are ghosts of the past that stick with us in unintended ways. And so cleaning is a way of facing that, but bringing things out in the open, talking about things. Maybe you have some family secrets, family history, things that we don't really talk about that. But you know, if we don't talk about those things, if we don't talk about great Uncle Roger and that sneaky thing he did, whatever it was, it's going to creep out in strange ways. So this is a time of year when perhaps we can tell the stories about great Uncle Roger. We can still honor the good things he did. And know that great Uncle Roger was completely human, and humans do things that are good things and also that are bad things sometimes. And we have all done them. And we can honor people in their entirety. It's interesting to note that Sean Connery died yesterday. And I've seen lots of people mourning his passing. He was 90 years old. He lived a long and happy life, and his family was with him. And perhaps you enjoyed him as James Bond or in other movies. And we can be thankful to have had him on the screen. But we can also acknowledge that he has said and done very misogynistic things. And that doesn't take away from the gifts that he has given us. It has made him completely human. Ruth Bader Ginsburg died recently, and she was a great gift to humanity and to this nation, and she served our country well. And she certainly advanced the cause of human rights, of women's rights, of minority rights, of human rights in this nation. And of all of her law clerks, she only had one who was Black in her entire time on the Supreme Court. And we don't have to bury that. We can examine that critically and look at that against the whole body of work that she has given us and still mourn her passing and look at her as a great person. So what is our whole legacy? Today, we honor our own individual ancestors. It's a time for us to remember that we come from them. We carry things from them. We've learned from them. And what will we carry on? We can love people and love their memory and recognize that some things that they did were out of touch, were things that perhaps even they regretted as they grew older, were things that we learned that we don't want to repeat. We can examine their lives and say, I wonder how they came to be this way. How will that affect me? Or we can choose to create more ghosts in the world. Now, Louisa Teish goes on to tell us, in the traditions of the African diaspora, and in many parts of Africa today, the belief is that ghosts inhabit living people's spirits and make people do bad things, make bad choices. Will we allow the ghosts of our past to guide bad choices? Or will we recognize them and examine them, honor them for who they are, and make better choices for it moving forward? Now, sometimes I wonder what I will be remembered for. I hope on balance it's for more of the good things that I've done, but I know I've done some cringeworthy things. If you know you've done some cringeworthy things, you don't have to admit it. You don't have to admit it here today, but I know I've done some cringeworthy things. I know I've done some things in my life and said some things and thought some things that I know better of now. Choices I've made that could have been better choices. And if they've affected my family and others, I hope people won't hide from them. I hope they won't be buried. I hope they won't be the primary things that people talk about when they talk about me. I hope I've done better things on balance. But I hope as I've learned from them, others will learn from them as well. I think when we place people on a pedestal, they stop being human and start being some sort of unattainable idol. And even in the Christian tradition, we know that Jesus had done some less than perfect things. Jesus had a temper. And on balance, we don't remember Jesus for dissing the Syrophoenician woman before he helped her. And if you don't know that story, talk to me later. I'll tell you that story. And on balance, we don't remember Jesus for trashing the temple or the courtyard of the temple. And maybe that was a good thing, but wow, did he have a temper. And on balance, we don't remember Jesus for cursing a fig tree because it wasn't producing figs out of season. But we include all of that in the stories. It's okay to remember people in the fully human way that they were, because our ancestors were fully human. It's okay to love them in all their imperfections. It's okay to love one another in all of our imperfections. After all, as Channing reminds us, I am a living member of that great family of all souls, and I cannot improve or suffer myself without diffusing good or evil around me through an ever enlarging sphere. I belong to this family. I am bound to it by vital bonds. And so as we celebrate this great communion of all saints and all the souls who are among us today, as we remember on Samhain and All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day, all of those who go before and set a course for all those who come after. I say to you, we are human, we are perfectly imperfect. Let us love one another for who we are. Namaste.